Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about hotel tips and tricks. For those of you who are new to my channel, a little bit of background. I was a flight attendant for Emirates for 7 years. In that time, I stayed at all different types of places, from 5-star hotels to villas, to huts on the beach, to bed and breakfasts, to shared accommodation, to everything. Good morning guys. We are at French show at the moment. French show. And I learned a few things which I still use to this day. A lot of the time people ask me, hey, how did you find that accommodation? Because I tend to stay at places which may not always be so easily found. Let's hop straight into it. Number one, before anything, consider the kind of trip that you're going on. For example, are you going on a business trip? Are you going on a rest and a relaxation trip? Are you going because it's party season somewhere and you want to party all night and stay in your hotel all day?
Good morning guys, it's past 7:30 in the morning. We've just gotten home. Kat just got on the phone with Amy Wells and Amy Wells asked, what did you guys get up to? Answer, what did we not do? Where did we not go? Who did we not meet? Mykonos!
Are you after an adventure? Are you looking for rest and relaxation but also traveling on a budget? Consider that first because that will guide your actual shopping around. Speaking of shopping around, tip number 2, I don't know if you've noticed in the past, but you might shop around for accommodation or flight, and when you do shop around you find that the prices are always going up and the availability is always going down, and you're kind of going, oh my gosh, all of these things that I want are all of a sudden becoming more expensive and more scarce. I've been told that search engines will retain your information. So if you browse in private, then those websites won't be able to retain your information and therefore not really affect the prices that you're looking at. Browse in private mode. Tip number 3, speaking of shopping around, my tip is to actually shop around. Go through a few different kinds of websites. For me, my sequence of shopping around starts like this. I'll go to Agoda.com, then Booking.com, and then I'll look at Airbnb. I will look at LuxuryEscapes.com, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.com, Groupon, and Scoopon. So that sounds like a lot of shopping around, right? But why do I do it in that sequence? I do it in that sequence because Agoda and Booking.com, they have a lot of stock in there. And what I mean by stock is that they have a lot of hotels already in there. I specifically like Agoda.com, that's my preference. I like my browsing experience, and then I'll go to Booking.com just for comparison's sake. It's a very broad search experience. You get a lot of top hotels there, but what you don't get from those search engines is a lot of boutique options. For that reason, I go to other things like Airbnb. When I go to Airbnb, the reason I go there is because I want to see what the variety is in terms of what types of accommodation I can get. Airbnb features homes and apartments, which means that the likelihood of them being on those other search engines is low to none. You can get really nice accommodation for a lower price compared to Agoda and Booking.com. Airbnb can work really well in large cities. I stayed at an Airbnb when I was in Paris with my family. It was really great because we were staying in the heart of Paris and we paid about half of the cost of a hotel in that area, and it was so beautiful. It was also equipped, it was also clean, and it was also safe. That's Airbnb. Luxury Escapes and Mr. and Mrs. Smith are places that I visit if I am specifically after boutique accommodation, especially Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I like the accommodation that they curate. It's very stylish. Most of it is more highly priced than the others, purely on the fact that it is more boutique, but it's also very, very beautiful. Actually, I recommend checking them out even just for curiosity's sake. They've got a lot of beautiful accommodation on there. I also go to Google. I also go to Instagram. If I'm looking at Instagram, I'll search hashtags. I'll search the hashtag of a place. I'll search travel bloggers and see where they're staying. Because they travel a lot, they get to feature a lot of accommodation on their Instagram. Scoopon and Groupon. Now, these are 2 shopping apps and websites available here in Australia. I'm not sure what the equivalent would be for all other countries. I know there's an equivalent in Dubai, but I specifically go to these ones for quick business trips. Why? I found a couple of good deals on Groupon because they have popular chains on there. They do mystery hotels, and the mystery hotels tend to be the 4 to 5-star hotels, and you'll get them at half of the price because Groupon and Scoopon are promotional tools for companies. Because they're advertising on there doesn't mean that they're any less, but they want to do a promotion. So for quick business trips, 2-3 days, I'll find something from there. Even if it's a mystery hotel, I've never purchased anything from Scoopon Travel, but but I've seen some pretty good deals on there inclusive of flights. I'll hop in there for comparison's sake, but to this day I haven't found anything comparable. Now number 4, once you've narrowed down 3 of your favorites, go to tripadvisor.com. Read the reviews by the guests who have stayed there. Why do I say tripadvisor.com? I say tripadvisor.com because the reviews on there are more authentic. For example, if you're looking at a hotel right now, you can find a review that was posted just a day ago and saying, oh, there's construction happening right across the road from me and it was very noisy. So this kind of information you generally won't be able to find anywhere else. So I highly recommend going onto tripadvisor.com for those reviews. Go there, check out the reviews. Also check out the guest photos. The reason I say that is, of course, with accommodation, they hire professional photographers whose job it is to make the place look the best it can possibly look through a picture. When you do go through guest photos, I mean, they're not going to be the best photos. They give you a different perspective. BYO water. Bring your own water. Something that I started to do as a flight attendant. I tend to do it when I'm traveling overseas. If I'm traveling locally, I don't really worry about it. I know the state of Australia and the water over here and how much water costs. But when I was traveling internationally for Emirates, we might stay at a really beautiful hotel in Germany and you land there and a bottle of water is 12 euros like this, right? Given that it was pretty easy to pack my own bottle, I would just pack my own. A lot of cabin crew actually did it. You just pack your own water. When staying in a hotel, I try to keep all my belongings sort of together. I try not to put all my belongings everywhere unless I'm staying somewhere for a long period of time. The reason for that is because it makes packing up so much easier and it reduces the chance of you leaving something behind. I try not to use all of the drawers available. It just makes packing up and leaving so much easier. If you are to use the safe, do I recommend it? Yeah, why not? Why not? I'm a bit impartial to safes. But if you do use it, leave yourself a note somewhere so that you don't forget your items in there. It happened to me once where I left my passport in there and I was operating as a crew member, and halfway through to the airport, the hotel rings us to say Christine's left her passport. And so the whole flight was going to be delayed because of me. Ever since then, I would leave myself a note. I wouldn't write, Christine, your passport is in the thing. The whole purpose of putting stuff in the safe is to keep it safe, not to let intruders know that you've just left $20,000 in a safe. So I'll just make a little note, say something, I don't know, whatever. Just as a reminder that I have something to take before I leave. When leaving, pack your valuables in your suitcase. Yep, so for example me, I would put my laptop in my suitcase, my drone in my suitcase, and then I would lock it up, irrespective of how nice your accommodation is. I guess some accommodation feels safer than others, or maybe you feel safe anyway, but just after all the years of traveling and always being away, we would have these pre-flight briefings, meaning meetings before we fly, and we talk about how to stay safe, stories that we've heard, things like that. You know, even 5-star hotels, things can happen, things can be taken. It's not very common, but to be safe than sorry, just pack everything in your suitcase. You're probably thinking if someone's intruding your room, they could probably take your suitcase anyway, but I mean, at least it's a little bit harder for them to grab the things from inside your suitcase. A lot of hotels have irons and ironing boards anyway, so this might not be a problem, but you can hang your clothes on a hanger and then put it in the bathroom, so when you shower, the heat from the shower can actually soften the fabric and sort of reduce the wrinkles in your outfit. Pack one of these. This is a power board, especially for if you're traveling internationally, because for us here in Australia, we have these, right? The 3-prong thing. But instead of having a lot of multiple adapters, which cost about $15, $20, $30, $40 for one, if you have one of these, you'll only need one multi-adapter. Plug that in, and then these are all local to you. Wash your kettle before you use it. Why do I say that? A few years ago, I watched a video on tips of what you could do with your hotel kettle, aka how to cook using your kettle, how to cook inside your kettle. I was thinking, okay, you probably want to wash that. Some of the tips included things like, oh, make 2-minute noodles inside your kettle, make oatmeal inside your kettle, sterilize your underwear inside your, like, first of all, why are you sterilizing your own underwear in a kettle? Wash the kettle before you use it. And that's about it. Those are my tips. If you have any comments or questions, pop them in the comment section down below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have any tips actually that I might have missed, pop them below. I'm keen to know. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, there's a red button up there somewhere here. Click it. Also turn on notifications so you get more videos like this. Alright, that's it from me for now. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!